News Media Station.
Good morning, everyone.
We ready?
Live from the TXU Energy Studio.
The Roula and Ryan Show with Eric, featuring Special K and Sam.
All right, so a lot of people have good memories and bad memories of high school life, depending on how your social life went in high school. You're going to have great memories, or you're going to have not so great memories.
But you have memories.
Memories. And to your point, Eric, you said most everybody went to high school. Not everybody goes to college, but most everybody had to go to high school.
Like even my college, I had fun, but a lot of times I was, like when we party till midnight, or they'd party till 3, I'd go to bed at midnight because I had to get up at 3 to go intern at the radio stations.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to enjoy the full
You were intern in high school?
college. Like my freshman year. That's what I'm saying.
college.
Like I didn't get I mean, I had some crazy times, but not like crazy.
Right, you already like
I had crazy, but I also, I found my way there. My senior year, I started working at a radio station in Lufkin, Texas. So,
I think high school too.
I learned a lot.
Don't you feel like the first 18 years of your life take forever because your parents you're under their thumb?
Yeah.
Well, you don't remember
And
the
once
first 4 years usually. The 4 years older, you get some real memories.
But I feel like
going.
everything else is zipped by. I mean,
Well, because
I've been with you guys for
With-
22 years is like so
Yeah,
fast.
snap.
Yeah,
It's
with
like
the
raising your kids.
passage of time, it seems to move
As you get
faster
older
and faster.
That's true.
So people in this survey, American adults were asked to reflect on their high school years. What do they remember the most? On the academic side, they say they all either had, like almost 80% of them had a class they either loved or they hated. You remember a class that you loved or a teacher you loved, or a class that you hated or a teacher you hated? That was the top thing about the academics of high school. When it came to friendship, 83% had a friend group. 62% of the people in that group still talk to at least one friend from that group.
Well, that's pretty. 62.
true.
That's pretty.
62%.
I still have friends from high school that are in my life.
I texted with a buddy yesterday.
Yeah. Outside the classroom, 62% had a part-time or a full-time job while they were in high school.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
A lot of those.
87% had a crush. 64% had a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
What percentage?
Yeah.
64% said they had a boyfriend or a girlfriend in high school.
And that's
87%.
like-
I feel like it'd be lower. I think it would be higher. Like,
like I thought everybody
75.
did, but that's all part of it. Breaking up with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Do you remember you thought the world was ending and
You only dated like 5 weeks and you felt like it was 5 years.
And the worst part
Yes.
is that like
Because you'd have to see them in the hallway.
that's why.
Oh, Sam, I was going to say my girlfriend's locker was literally 2 lockers over from mine.
That's a big deal to share lockers. That's like moving.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, they
Yeah.
don't have lockers, so this generation can't
That's
have
so
these memories.
wild
I don't
There's no
know.
lockers.
That
Wait,
is
they don't have
so
lockers
wild.
now? Well, they
They
do,
won't use
but
them.
not a lot of people use them. Like my daughter
It takes so
graduated
much
5
time.
years ago and
Yeah, you can.
6 years ago.
They have
and
to carry their
never used
backpacks
them.
because it takes too much time with the shuffling between classes. You're late for the next
To
class.
stop at your locker?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
especially when
so
you've got these
depressing.
huge campuses where you got to haul ass from one point of the
In 5
building to the
minutes.
other.
My friends used to put gum on my locker.
Like just
They're
They're really
and they were
great
your friends?
Yeah.
I was like, they were your
where you're
friends?
the lock
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
Because ours we didn't have we didn't have to bring a lock. They
already
already had
built in.
locks
Yeah,
that were
built
built
in.
in.
The
And so they put
combination,
gum
yeah.
all around my thing so that I'd have to touch the gum in order to get my
Ew.
combination.
I don't think those are your
And
friends.
my brother was a senior and I was a freshman. They used to put me in lockers.
They could fit you in the locker. 'Cause most of the
really
lockers
try- I
are
mean, I
like
was
half lockers.
She's only
Yeah,
5'3"
mine was half.
or what?
Yeah, I was tiny. Like in high school, I was like 100 pounds.
Wow.
Were you 5'3" then, or did you
Brag.
grow
Yeah.
more in high school?
Thank you. Thanks, Kev. No, I've always been this height. I've been this height since like 7th grade.
I want to see a photo of
Interesting.
you and Kevin the same age, like 14 and 14, and see who's tinier. I think Kevin.
I think Kev was probably tinier.
Yeah.
Right now, who's taller? Kevin's taller.
Kev's taller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barely.
Burley. All right. When it comes to activities and clubs in high school, or if you're just tuning in, we're talking about what most Americans remember about their high school years in this survey. 51% joined a school club. 31% were in band or choir. 30% were in a school play. That's me and Eric. Did y'all do plays?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody?
Oh,
That's
Kevin,
in
you were in
middle
plays?
school, not in high school.
I did 2 plays a year.
Yes, I
Did
did.
you?
I was
Yeah.
really into it.
Were you
Well,
on one of the actors or behind the scenes?
First I did acting for the first 3 years, and then I discovered Tech Crew. Man, Tech Crew is where it's at
Yeah.
because you don't have to memorize any lines.
What was your
Bill.
favorite play that you were
I
performing in?
loved Bye Bye Birdie. I got to play. I was the biggest
musical.
part as a freshman. I got the biggest freshman part as Randolph McAfee. What's the matter with kids today?
I don't think I've ever known this about you.
Yeah,
Did a
Randolph
video?
That you
McAfee
were in
was in.
musicals in high school?
Yeah, it was in
I'm not
Bye Bye
surprised.
Birdie.
Yeah.
It's Kev.
It was about.
Everybody here.
Is that the
Are
one
you
where-
surprised?
Yes,
No,
I
he's
am.
surprised on
Eric,
musicals.
I am surprised
Center
because
of
Kevin
attention.
is such a I build things and I like ships and I want to be on a cruise ship. I did not take you for the singing part
Theatrical?
in the musical. I think you're the tech crew that built the set.
You do
Kevin,
both.
is that song "We Love You, Conrad"?
Oh, yes, we do. We love you, Conrad, and we'll be true. When
Okay.
you're not near us, we're blue. Oh, Conrad, we love you.
Oh, look at you. Special
This was a
K.
play about when Elvis had to go into the military and get drafted.
Oh, interesting.
is kind of what it was loosely
Takes
based
it
on.
on.
Mhm.
Well, I gotta say that I love the whole theater department and the arts for high schools is so important because it really is. It builds you in your formative years. Because when I was a kid, the elementary school got to watch the high school play, and I know even now, like my daughter's and my son having gone through this little pre-K, there's a school not too far from them that when the 8th graders do a play, they bring the pre-K kids from
Yep.
from the little sister school to come watch them.
My cousin Adam, that we've had on many times, it does all the
Set decorations.
set
In Hollywood.
Designs.
from Mad Men to Dexter and stuff. He's
Everybody Loves Raymond.
He got inspired by watching me because their school came to watch our plays. And
Yeah, I'm telling you, it really
Oh,
like
you're in
sets
third
the-
grade, you watch
plants the seed.
because he was like 6 years young. Yeah, 6 or 7 years younger than me. So yeah, they get into
That's
it.
a great
That's why
thing.
I hope schools still do that. They go take them to see the high schools around them to see their plays.
And as a parent,
Yeah.
you should really encourage your kids to do this stuff. It's such a fantastic outlet for them.
And did y'all do student council where you had to put up posters to vote for you?
I did
You know,
Booster Club president. I ran for Booster Club president.
But you had
Did
to
you
get
run for
voted
it?
in,
You
had to
right?
get
You have to
voted
run
in.
for it. Your classmates have to vote on you. So that was like early learning on,
politics and debating.
politics,
And that's also on
failing,
this list, Kev. 16% of people in the survey did student government.
student government.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
And what was cool about that is that you could write your own hall pass if you're late for class because you were doing student government business.
Oh, nice.
That is like around.
You're
That is
such
like
a
politics.
nerd.
Taking care of yourself.
Yeah, I had a whole
A whole stack?
of passes
Would you write them
signed.
for your friends or
Oh
just
my-
for
no,
yourself?
just for me. I didn't have any friends.
Oh, Kev. I had a teacher that would always write mine for me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I always was skipping class.
That's 'cause you
so he
dated
would.
him.
I
We
didn't
had
date
this-
that
Oh
one.
my God, Eric.
I didn't date that
Stop.
one.
You did not date a high school teacher, did you? You didn't.
I don't think so.
Oh, you don't think so? Well, you either know or you don't,
I'm
sister.
just kidding. I'm
just
totally
flirted.
kidding.
Okay. Speaking of being naughty,
passed me. It's fine.
50% of people in the survey said they did skip class. 54%
Heck
said they would
yeah.
show up late.
Yep.
43% got sent to the principal's office. Who in here got sent to the principal's office and why?
More times than I can count.
Middle
For
school,
what?
elementary school, and high school.
That's
For
got
what?
away with
Pick
her.
one time. Why?
Okay, one time in particular, we had a film projector, and I was just being a little smartass, so I'd get up to throw away a piece of paper, and every time I got up to throw it, I'd bump the projector so it'd get a little off center from the screen, and I must have done it like 10 times to the point when I got called out for it. The picture wasn't even on like the screen anymore. It was to the left of it. The teacher's like so mad at me. That's
here.
it. Principal's office now.
Get in there,
What was the
Chase.
punishment?
I had detention for a week, and then there
What's
was another
detention?
time where
You just sit in an empty room?
Yep,
For
after
study
school.
hall?
And then
After
there was
school.
another time where
Yeah, for 20
I
minutes or
decided I
whatever.
didn't want to shave.
Mine was 2 hours.
And like I was a weird freak of nature. I started like shaving at 13, and I just decided I didn't want to shave.
13.
I don't think I got leg hair until I was like 14.
And I remember the vice principal. He had a razor in his drawer. It's called Old Rusty. And he's like, if you don't come in clean shaven tomorrow, I'm breaking that Old Rusty.
You talking about your face?
No,
The razor. That's gross.
Okay, Sam, what
I
did
was
you go to the principal for?
13
and
or
what-
14, Eric.
for
I
what?
didn't look this way now.
Everybody.
Or it didn't
I
look
mean, mine was
like I
just
do
in
now, but-
elementary school. There was a whiteboard that fell on this girl's head, and I laughed really hard.
So they sent you to the
So,
for
yeah,
not being
but you
empathetic?
didn't do it.
Yes. I don't know if I did it or not. I don't remember that part of the
How
story.
did you not know? Girl, you are lying.
She doesn't remember if she.
How did you
Dated a
not
teacher?
know? You would know if you bashed somebody over the head with a whiteboard.
I was really
Sam.
bad. I
So
was really
between the
bad.
dating of the teachers and the
That you
There's
don't
that.
remember.
the
then
physical violence.
I had to go to the principal's office and we got animal crackers. I told you guys that story.
Oh, yeah, the animal
And
crackers.
you were each animal cracker was your friend, and I bit all their heads off, and I said, "This is what I do to my friends."
Oh my God, Sam.
Wait,
You're in holy
How old were
terror.
you there? Second grade?
Oh no, my
Like
mom's
this girl.
listening. I'm sure she'll text
Your mom's
me.
like, I got.
Like, how are these not red flags for like?
For the future. Kevin, did you get sent to the principal's office ever? And what for what?
I was a good boy. I
I'm
got
sure
away
you
with
were.
it. You know, I'm pretty slick.
Yeah,
So you did stuff, you just didn't get busted.
Right.
Same
yeah.
with you, Eric?
yeah. I mean, after my mom passed away, they let me.
Right.
Yeah.
My GPA was a 1.0.
And they just
I
let
never
it go.
showed up. I
Yeah.
had 3 study halls and theater. I just go in and I just go smoke weed
They were giving
Okay,
you
I
leeway.
definitely didn't do that then.
and just beat them. So they just at one time I got 1 detention in 4 years because he goes, where were you, Eric? I gotta give up. I'll go. I got no lie today. I just didn't want to be here. Okay, you got detention.
No, and detention for you guys was just sitting in a room. I went to
Like
St.
40
Thomas
minutes.
Episcopal, and I don't know. Somebody is an alumni of the last 5 years. What is the detention now? Because St. Thomas made you work. I had to clean toilets. I had to
Must
clean
have
the
been just sitting in
campus.
that room.
Pick up
That's a
trash.
good-
We
That's
literally
good detention.
just sat there
Yes.
and passed notes because our.
And when you drive, it's no big deal because you can drive home. It sucks when you can't drive and your
And you had
parents
to tell parents.
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
come get
Mom
you.
and dad
Absolutely.
are mad.
You would just say you were going to a friend's house and then you'd go walk to your friend's house afterwards.
Yeah.
No, 37530. If somebody is a recent graduate of St. Thomas Episcopal in Meyerland, what is the detention? Because I cleaned that campus. I got sent to the principal's office for skipping class. I got busted for skipping PE inside the chapel. I hid inside the chapel like I was in choir, but I wasn't in
Like in
choir.
the confessional booth?
No, like the chapel was open and the choir was happening, but I'm not in choir.
Oh.
But I pretended like I was in choir so I didn't have to go to PE. And they busted me because I didn't want to run. Shocker, I didn't want to run. I hated the uniform.
Did
I
you
would
have your
never show
corduroys
up with
on?
the uniform.
You about to start a
No,
fire?
I hated it. Oh my God, yes, my thighs would absolutely catch fire if I had to run. And so I got
I'm over
busted.
here like telling people to line up. I'm like, I will race you right now.
Yeah, no. Oh,
Rilla's
God.
like, no.
Oh, that presidential fitness award test, that was my hell every year. I was like, oh no,
The
can I
only
just
thing you
fake
were like
sick?
excited about was the stretching part where
Not
you had to like
even.
push.
God, not even. We had to run that mile. I knew I'd be the last
Oh,
one.
I hate that too.
I come in dead
The
last
president's
on that.
test, the way to do all those things. You
But
do
Eric, it was
long
fun.
jump.
the
and you had to
chin
do-
ups, the long jump.
Yeah.
You have we had the rope in the gym.
Never had a
And you had to
rope.
climb the
Didn't have
rope
that.
all the way up to the top of the gym.
I didn't have that. We just had
They
the
probably
was so
banned that
fun.
in the 90s.
It's got to be dangerous. I mean, like if you fell from that height, you'd really get hurt.
Things that you remember from high
If
school.
you did, could you sue? Last
Now,
time.
now you
Check
can.
with Adam.
Well, ask Adam Ramji.
He's supposed to be in here.
It's time for Ask
He's
the
here.
Attorney, and Adam Ramji will give you some free legal advice. You can call us up at 833-390-KRBE.
Nice transition, Eric.
If you
There
have
go.
questions about something that happened and you're wondering, should I pursue legal action? He can answer those questions next.
That
on
is
the
true,
Roula
though.
Right Show with
We
Eric.
should ask
Uh-huh.
about high school. If you get injured,
If you get hurt on the high
like,
school campus,
they're making you do something.
that you don't want to do.
You had to ring the bell at the top of the
We did wood,
gymnasium.
remember, I got sliced woodworking. The saw was bent, and I bent it the other way. There's an old rusty saw that I shined up. He
So
said,
that's
"Just
two
bent."
old rusties in one conversation.
I put it in a vice grip, and I put it and just sliced.
Okay, I can't with the
Open.
word slice. Stop.
Whoa.
Bleh.
I'm like,
Yeah, they're like, oh, just
I'm
go to the
bleeding.
nurse.
I went to the doctor. I got out of
Band-Aid.
swim class for 6 weeks.
I would hope so.
Chubby
You had a
Eric did-
swimming pool at your school?
Yeah, we call it the pirate puddle.
The pirate
We're the pirates, and it was a small little pool.
Oh, that's cute, Eric.
Pirate puddle. All right, we'll talk to Adam Ramji next on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
Point 1 KRBE. The Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
All right, my friends, we've got Adam Ramji live in studio for Ask the Attorney. Hi, Adam Ramji.
Good morning. It's so nice to be here with you guys.
Good morning, Adam. We were just talking just a few minutes ago about something.
Well, hold on. Before we bring that up, I'm going to get people lined up with our phone number, 833-390-KRBE. This is your chance to ask Adam Ramji his professional opinion on whether something is should be pursued or not. Is it a case that should be pursued, or you have a question about, injury, personal injury, whether maybe you fell somewhere or you were injured somewhere or somebody injured you or you were in a car crash of some sort. We were just coming off the topic, Adam, about high school, what people remember most from high school.
Sure.
And we brought up like the gym stuff, like the presidential fitness award that you could win, and you had to do like a long jump and you had to do a mile run and you had to do chin-ups and all
Well,
this
I
stuff.
remember in particular, we had a rope in our gymnasium, which was probably about 2.5 stories high.
Yes.
And we would climb up this rope. And, Eric, you had a good question about this.
No, just if you fall, can you sue the school? Or like, say they force you. Like a lot of times, as kids don't want to do certain things. The teacher's like, "No, you got to do this," and you get injured. Is there anything you can get, or are you like,
Yeah.
it's a school, so they're protected?
Yeah, you can imagine in Houston we get a lot of these kind of calls, and because kids do get hurt at school. A lot of the kind of calls we get are our kids are playing in the playground and they tripped and stuff and they got the hurts, and those are typically not good cases. So the first thing we look at is it a private school or public school. If it's a private school, the private schools are treated more like businesses.
Okay.
A public school, which is most of the calls we get, have immunity, and it's something known as what's called sovereign immunity. So they're really protected against anything unless there's an exception to that. And so they are tricky. A lot of the cases I shouldn't say a lot, but some of the cases we get are going to be where there's some kind of violence between the kids. And there's nothing you can do typically on those.
Really?
But if the teacher's involved in that, we had a teacher who hit a kid once, and that one we were able to do because that's definitely outside of the scope of being a teacher.
That's interesting you bring that up because we had corporal punishment. I had a coach paddle me so hard he broke the skin on my buttocks, and I literally had blood in my underwear from being paddled so hard.
Yeah.
So could I have sued back then?
I think you probably could have sued because, if corporal punishment is allowed, but, to what standard, right?
Yeah,
I'm
to what
going to
extent?
spank you, but I'm not going to beat you and rip your skin off.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, how about this
Right.
one? Because this was, I think it was a recent story in the news, right? Like somebody feels the school didn't do enough on an assault of one student to another. And you said if the teacher is involved, that's one thing, but they really can't do anything if it's a student assaulting a student?
The teachers have a duty to get in there and try to break it up.
Mm-hmm.
But if one kid hits another kid, how do you sue in the school?
Yeah.
How do you know? Now, there's also the issue what's called quote unquote notice. When I say notice, what I mean by that is, does the school know or should have known of the propensity of this individual, and should they have maybe quarantined this person because this is the fourth kid they've hit?
Okay.
And did they tell anyone? And so that's kind of how even slip and falls are also dealt with, right? Did the store know or should have known of the liability on the floor? And if they didn't know about it, then there's no liability on them because how could they have known? So there's a lot of backtracking involved in that.
Like the gym I work out at, the parking garage looks like it's like from the 1980s. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden they have a big old cone, like those big barrels by it, and some tape. You can't go in this part of the parking garage. And I looked, and there's a hole.
Right.
I can see the rebar. I can see a hole the size of like a bowling ball.
Right. And this is where again?
At my gym in the parking garage.
Okay. So they quarantine the area.
And they but you have to go around it. And I'm like, what if that thing you fall through? Because they put that. It's been 2 weeks.
No, for sure.
Shouldn't they fix that
ASAP?
It needs to be fixed, So when you walk on someone else's property, you're either a trespasser, saying you shouldn't be there. You probably get shot in Texas. Or you're a social guest, which is also known as a licensee. Or you're there as an invitee, which is most of the cases. Like someone walks into a store. If you walk someone's house, the only duty you have to your social guests, people coming over, is, hey, watch out, my dog's going to bite you. Watch out for my pothole in my kitchen, whatever. Mm-hmm. But if you're walking into a store, you can't do the watch out.
It's not even ground there.
I'll make it really graphic, make it memorable.
So 833-390-KRBE is our phone number. Are we good with that answer with the garage?
But just because they put stuff around it, they should still be responsible.
No, they should be. So if they've got a duty to quarantine it, but then got to go fix it right away. It can't just keep sitting over there.
Because if something happens, like if Eric's car sinks into a sinkhole connected to that, and then he says, well, for 3 weeks they had a barrel there, but they weren't doing anything, then you have a case.
Even cases are also trespassers. You don't have a duty to them, but if it's trespassers as a minor, you have a duty to them. So if you got a swimming pool and someone trespasses on your property, and jumps in there and is an adult. No case. If it's a kid, it's on you. You should have kept the pool safe. Yeah,
even though they jumped on my property.
100%. If it's a child, if it's minor,
the fence has to be a certain level high for them to not get into the pool. This is Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay, let's go to Sandra on the line.
Sure.
It has to do with her husband being injured. Hi, Sandra. Welcome to the Roula and Show with Eric. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
Ramji is listening. What is the question you have for him?
Good morning, Sandra.
Okay, so the question is, he was in an accident about a year ago. He got some rinky-dink attorneys, not even from Texas. They solicited him. He signed with them. They did nothing for him. They actually used my insurance company to pay all the medical bills.
Okay.
So my insurance went up. The girl, he got subpoenaed to go to court. Oh, first of all, let me tell you what happened. They were driving. The girl hits him. He was taking my kids to work. The girl hit him. He rolled down his window. She tried to get away. He rolled down his window. My daughter started recording, and he's telling the girl to pull over. And she's blowing him kisses, shooting him the finger.
What?
And he's like, pull over. And she hit him again. This time it's on videotape.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, she ended up, this other car helped him kind of block her off and get him out of the way because she ended up running into him too. So they kind of pulled her off into the road. Wow. And when the cops got there, she's crying, saying she was scared because she's a girl and these guys were, messing with her, boxing her in. So she didn't know what to do. My husband has fetish. So, yeah. So he ended up getting this attorney, which did nothing for us. He ended up getting subpoenaed to go to court. before he even got to talk, the attorneys told him, okay, you can go. So they didn't even hear him out or anything.
Mm-hmm. So your question is, can you sue the attorney for bad representation, or what is the question? It's a bad attorney.
It's like malpractice here, right?
Personally, because my husband's still injured. Like, literally, his shoulders hurt. Like, he's still injured, and
Yeah, there's obviously a lot to the story. It sounds like the beginning of a reality show. I really would like to maybe spend some time off air with you and have this conversation. And I don't mind giving like a second opinion on this. But it seems like if you're not being treated properly, maybe we can guide you in the right way. Maybe tell you what you need to tell your attorney. I never try to tell people to fire their attorney unless they're not doing a good job.
Yeah, how's that work, Adam?
Yeah,
so you go with you or someone else.
No, it's a great
not
question.
Happy after 2 months.
Yeah,
or 2 days.
Yeah,
how do you make that
so the question is, I sign up
Mm-hmm.
with a lawyer. Can I fire that attorney and move over? And the answer is yes. But the question really comes up: I'm still signed up. Now can I even speak to you? So as lawyers, like we can give you a second opinion. We generally do. I think most of the lawyers I know, we shy away from trying to talk to a client that has because we don't want to come in between that.
Yeah.
So if we get a call like that, our instinct is, listen, let me tell you kind of what's going on. This is kind of maybe what's happening, maybe trying to explain to them. And sometimes the lawyer is doing the right thing, but the client doesn't understand, or the lawyer's not explaining it properly.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes the lawyer isn't doing it. We had a conversation yesterday with somebody with a lawyer. I was shocked at what the lawyer did in this case. But what happens is yes, we can give a second opinion, but we're not trying to tortuously interfere and say, go fire them. No.
Are there kind of codes within your industry about you don't poach other people's clients?
No, you never poach another client. But if someone's injured and they're hurt and went to a lawyer and not being treated right, that's just not
or
fair.
they feel
right?
like they're being
we'll help you try to navigate through that. We're not trying to
Do you have to split the? Like, say they're with that group, right? And they're like halfway through, but they're not happy.
No, it depends. So some lawyers will drop the case without interest, saying that it's all fine, I'm done, go. Or some lawyers will drop it with interest, saying that when the case settles,
I get a piece.
I get a piece of that. You invested time in it, and that's reasonable.
Well,
but we have a case right now where the lawyer was trying to settle a case for $70,000. She fired that lawyer, came to us. We're at $1 million right now. And there's more money.
Whoa!
And that lawyer's like, oh well, we should take a fee of that. I'm like, you should take a part of the attorney fees, which is going to be like what, almost $400,000 on this for you. Like what you were trying to settle the case for $70.
Yeah.
And I have in writing, like you really should.
Here's 10 grand.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Go away.
Go away. Right.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking to Adam Ramji. It's our Ask the Attorney segment at 833-390-KRBE. If you have a question about personal injury or an accident, he can answer the question for you. Sam is up next, not our Sam. It's a Sam on the phone.
I mean, Sam, you can just talk if you want.
Has to do.
I thought I had a call.
Now, here's what it says. She has been hit by a car in a store. How?
Oh, what?
Sam, please explain how you were hit by a
Parking lot?
car in a store.
No, that's not right.
Oh,
No.
okay.
All right.
No. What it was I was leaving a store and I was in the parking lot.
Okay.
And as I was walking on the curb, I don't know if there was some sort of metal or something, but it jabbed, like it cut through my shoe onto my foot.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I was close to my car. I hobbled to my car. I had my daughter with me. My foot was bleeding really bad, and I had to drive home. And it's been 3 weeks, and I don't have insurance. And so I don't think there's anything in my foot. I've been cleaning it and taking care of it. But my
That's
only
crazy.
concern is because I was in the parking lot, am I already, I guess, off the store's property, and that was just my own carelessness? Or
Sam, I'm so sorry to hear
because
what you went through. I want everybody to listen. If you hire my law firm, you don't have to have insurance. We'll cover everything. I want to make that so super clear. That's even if you have health insurance, maybe you can use it, maybe not. But if you don't, we've got enough our network where we'll take care of you. So that's why do the right thing. Give us a call. We'll make sure that you're taken care of medically, and then we'll worry about the money later. But in this case over here, somebody owns the parking lot. It might be the store, it might be a landlord, but it also might be a management company. Also, these are really, really strong cases for us because if there's rebar sticking out, it's noticeable, it's obvious. That's where we're talking about the notice.
Yep.
You should have seen that. You should have had someone check in the damn parking lot, making sure. Oops, can I say that?
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine.
Damn it.
Yeah, right. Making sure you check the parking lot. So that's why it's really important for us to go there, even for you, Sam, to get there and take pictures of it. Because if you're bleeding and stuff, you might have an infection. And I mean, rightfully so, they just need to fix it so the next person doesn't get hurt on that.
And I have a real quick question about the details, Sam. You were on the sidewalk leaving a store, or you were in the parking lot near your car? Because isn't it all the same?
Yeah, it shouldn't really matter. I mean, they may be like different people managing that section of it.
Somebody owns that.
And that's what's great about that is there's multiple defendants. Now
So
you
it's
go
not
after all of them.
necessarily the store's fault.
And it probably isn't
it's
the store.
Whoever owns that parking lot.
Whoever owns the parking lot and whoever's managing the parking lot.
Okay.
And then
there
also
might
and then whoever built the parking lot too.
There might be camera footage on that,
Yes,
which
surveillance,
as me as a regular citizen is very difficult for me to get from the store. And I've tried to get it from like Home Depot, for instance. You really need, I guess, subpoena power, right?
Yeah.
To compel them to give that to you.
Yeah, and if you don't get it, what we send is what's called a spoliation letter. We say, here's a letter, don't touch the evidence, take that video, put it on the side, we're coming to get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go. Thank you so much for calling,
Sam. Yeah, give us a call in the office, please.
713-all-8.
You can even text 713-all-8. All you people out there, if you don't want to talk to a lawyer, because talking to lawyers, some people like, it sucks talking to lawyers. So just text us at 713-888-8888.
Text the lawyer jokes.
Yeah, there you go.
Ray's up next at 833-390-KRBE. Hi, Ray. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hey. Good morning,
What's your
Ray.
question for Adam Ramsey?
Hey. So I have a question because I heard y'all talking about the school thing. So like 2 years, maybe a year and a half, my daughter and her drill team was on the way to a football game. They got into a bus accident with the school police that was what do you call it?
Yeah,
escorting them?
Escorting them?
Yeah. I'll escort. So it's like the escort and two buses that had got into the accident, and a lot of the girls went.
Good Lord.
A lot of the girls went. Now it wasn't bad; everybody was okay, but they had like neck pains and shoulder pains and back pains or whatever because of the whiplash and all of that. But when I went to go talk to the superintendent, I'm like, hey, y'all didn't even issue a statement, an apology, or anything. Parents are talking about getting lawyers. Well, he stated to me, he was like, well, that's okay because the school is protected, so it wouldn't matter. So nobody pursued it.
So who's responsible, Adam?
Yeah, so what these fall under, whenever there's schools involved or police involved, it falls on what's called the Texas Tort Claims Act. And so what that says is basically a fancy way is that there's a limit of how much money you can get. Yeah. But if you don't let us know in writing, even though if we know about it, but you don't send us a notice letter within 6 months, you are SOL, and that doesn't mean statute of limitations.
Yeah.
So so you have had to have done something within 6 months if this was a police escort that was escorting the bus. Now, if it was just let's just say you're in the bus with your kids and it's a regular vehicle, doesn't fall under TTCA, Texas Tort Claims Act, then you can file collect or file within 2 years. So I think in this one, unfortunately, because of the SOL, you might be.
Okay,
so
because y'all didn't pursue it, Ray, because people were telling y'all, well, we're protected as a school, you're going to lose, you're not going to get anything, and that's why people didn't. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, when they say protected, that doesn't mean like you can't sue us. They're saying, well, we have insurance. Yeah, you're not going to get the school. The insurance will pay, and that's a big also push, right? When we go after someone, we're going after their insurance, not after them individually.
Okay.
All right.
We had someone call about that in terms of
the phones are loaded right now. When we come back with some more questions.
I also have a question about like if you get injured at these carnivals.
Oh yeah.
In parking lots or like people are going on vacations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Six Flags type thing. You get injured. I've heard that they all have like LLCs for each ride, so you couldn't really sue them. I'm just curious.
Because you can sue them because it just makes it difficult. Yeah.
Makes it hard. So I'm just
I mean, you
curious
show
about
me
that.
damages. I mean, I'll find your liability.
Okay.
I'll find out.
Then we're going to continue with Adam Ramsey, and I got to give you all the clue for the KRBE egg hunt.
Yes.
We got prizes to give away. We'll do that next on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
It's KRBE. Turn it up. With more of the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
Okay, the KRBE egg hunt continues this week. We have our KRBE bunnies all around town.
Those are big bunnies.
Yes, they're big bunnies. We've got Ahmad and DJ Noel, and they're always in some secret location you got to figure out. From 11 to 1 today, you can find Ahmad in the Richmond area, and it is a place...
What do you mean, Richmond, Texas, or off the street Richmond?
Good point. Richmond, Texas, the Richmond area.
Okay.
And this is a place where you'll find a lot of things that you might want in your home to sit on, lay down on.
Relax.
All right.
Things like that's all I can tell you. That's 11 to 1.
You'll see the KRBE vehicles.
Yes, you will. And then 5 to 7, DJ Noel will be at a similar facility, places that you can relax. And it's at 290 and Spring Cypress Road. What's there? I don't know.
I still laugh at him.
I know where that's at. Yeah.
He's done with the hiding. He's just trying to go home and
people are
tackles
following
him or something. I need Ramji. I need the Ramji.
Yeah.
So 290 in Spring Cypress. Yeah.
That's 5 to 7. 11 to 1, Ahmad is found in the Richmond area. Not Richmond, the street, the avenue, the Richmond area.
Yeah.
El Tiempo gift cards. We've got the Omni Cabana for 6 with Noel. A lot of fun things.
Well, I mean, He's not going to go with you.
He's just going to hook you up. That's what he's going to do.
Is the DJ there?
Yeah, follow us at KRBE Digital, and you'll see the videos.
I'm glad you brought that up. My daughter was talking about it. She was like, these KRB bunnies. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Bunnies.
I'm 10 years old.
It's
I'm
Ahmad and
like,
DJ Noel. All right, we're continuing our conversation with Adam Ramji. It's Ask the Attorney, and you can get some advice here for free. You can also call him at his office or text his office, 713-all-8s. And first and foremost, I want to come right out of the box asking about how many times we've said people don't want to sue their friends. If they were in the car and they got injured and they don't want to sue their friends, because we had a listener who was really mad about that, saying, yes, you are still suing your friends.
Because their insurance will go up, their
insurance rates will go up for being sued. Now, please explain how that works, Adam Ramji.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold my smile back because I heard the recording. It was from a
listener line. Yeah,
it was a listener line. A defense attorney speaking about it, getting really emotional about it. Clearly, a new lawyer because so the truth when we get a case, we're trying to settle it. We're not trying to sue anyone. We're trying to mediate, get it all done. Mm-hmm. But sometimes if you file a lawsuit, yes, you're suing. When you file the lawsuit, you are suing the individual that caused the accident, but you're going after their insurance. Now, if that person doesn't have insurance and you're going after your own insurance, it's you versus the insurance company, you versus Allstate, USA, whatever it is. So, yes, their name is on it. So I'm not sure where this person's getting their information from, number one. Number two, if you're not at fault, the insurance company says, well, your premiums won't increase. And if they won't increase, then, okay, well, how about doing the right thing? Everybody thinks, oh, getting a lawyer, we're going to sue. No, we've got to keep our streets safe. If we have people that are crazy, some of these, I'm telling you the cases we get. And, on the call, she says, sometimes the person who caused the accident is maybe a teenager and they're young and poor person. I'm like, what about my client who's laid up in the hospital in a coma?
Because you're a kid, right?
I'm not worried about
you're 16, have a license.
Yeah, then you know what? You should have been careful and go through this lesson. Let me depose you. So next time you'll be more careful and stay off your phone when you're driving, right? So that really riled me up because I'm like, there's so many people that are hurt that don't do the right thing. They're like, oh, what's going to happen to this person? But we for paper purposes, if we sue them, they're the ones on the suit, but the insurance company was backing it up. Okay. And that's just you think the 16-year-old's got $1 million? No, of course he doesn't, right? It's the insurance company that's going after.
The other thing I want you to point out too, Adam, we were talking about this off the air. If you, depending on everyone's different auto policies, if you're hit by somebody that doesn't have insurance or their insurance coverage is very low,
yes,
let's say it's $30,000,
sure,
and your medical bills are $90,000.
Yeah.
Explain to people why it's good to hire an attorney for the medical billing part of it.
Yeah, so even before hiring an attorney, when you purchase insurance, always carry, if you get hit by somebody who doesn't have insurance, that means they are uninsured. That's why you have to purchase uninsured motorist coverage.
Yeah.
If you get hit by somebody who does have insurance but doesn't have enough, that means you're hit by somebody who is underinsured. So that's why it's important to carry underinsured motorist coverage. And a lot of people say, oh, well, I was driving an old jalopy. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with the vehicle. It has to do with the occupants. So if you love the people in the car and you don't love the car, get the insurance because you need to make sure you're going to be covered. So then if you hire us, then we're going to make sure that we know what's on the menu to ask for to be able to maximize the settlement, right? So that's why.
To negotiate the cost from the hospital.
Exactly.
And lower that cost.
And like we talked about earlier, if the bills are super high, we'll try to negotiate. We have lien reduction people in our office, super strong. So if the bill's really high, we try to get that $90,000 bill. We try to explain to them, all we have is a $30,000 payout. Your bill's $90,000. The client's got to take something. Can you bring your bill down super low? And they'll work with us because we have thousands of cases in these facilities.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And they know, they'll get paid on the next one. Can I give a quick shout out real quick?
Sure, of course.
To the staff at Home Depot and I-10. I met Brooke over there, and we're all listeners of 104, so I thought you guys would love that. So Brooke, thanks for helping me remake a key. So
she recognized you from being on the Roula and Ryan show there?
Yeah. So
not from all those billboards?
Yes.
That's cute.
Yes.
Is it Anna or is it Anna? I want to make sure I'm saying your name right to the person on the phone.
It's Anna.
Hey, Anna, what's your question for Adam?
I do. Do you handle medical malpractice?
So the answer is yes, we do. I will tell you, after House Bill 4, which came down, almost 18 years ago, a lot of the medical malpractice lawyers stopped doing medical malpractice because everybody voted. And this is why you guys got to be careful what you vote for there to be caps. That means limits on how much people can recover after a certain case. In this case, it was medical malpractice. So the answer is yes, but after probably 300 intake phone calls we probably take one case. So I would have to talk to you.
Because the money cap, what's the money cap?
Yeah, so there's two things. There's the economic damages. Say someone's injured and now they've lost a leg and they need, a crutches, wheelchair, an outfit of their house for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Those are economic damages. You got to pay for that. Now, if you say that I went to the doctor's office and they cut over here and did this, and I was in a lot of pain. How are you doing now? And I'm fine, but I'm really emotionally traumatized. That's a non-economic. There's no economic value to your pain and suffering. We can put a value, but it's not black and white. So there's a cap on that, which is $250,000 typically, and there's we can get more granular in that. But because of that, just to build up those cases, and most of the cases we call is like my mom went to the doctor's office, they didn't treat her right, blah blah blah. But like if I have to spend $70,000 on experts, and you got attorney fees, which just comes out the wind, then there's nothing there.
What's your
story, Anna?
With his situation, he was taken by ambulance to a local hospital, which is a small hospital. He was diagnosed with bacterial pneumonia and became sepsis.
Okay.
They kept him overnight. In the middle of the night, he stopped breathing. So they emergency had to intubate him. So again, we're talking a small hospital. They intubated him, and he was life flighted to Methodist. Was intubated for about 7 days. I mean, thank God he came through all of it. But now we're finding out his speech has been terrible. So he's gone to a speech therapist, and then finally went to an ENT doctor, and he did a scope and basically said that he was damaged.
Oh, and the intubation.
When they did the intubation, and now
wasn't done properly.
because it's been so long, it could have been repaired had they found it within 24 hours.
How long has it been, Anna? How long has it been?
He got out of the hospital right before Christmas.
Okay,
what is the statute of limitations on something like that?
Again, it's typically 2 years for things like this. How old is your husband, Anna?
He's 62.
62, okay. So to answer your question, Ryan, the statute of limitations is 2 years, but typically most malpractice lawyers won't take a case unless you've got a lot more extra time because we have to file these called Chapter 72 a lot of forms that have to be filed. You got to build up a lot of it. And so if he's had bacterial pneumonia before this, and if the doctors did what the best that they could have, and if they follow that and you still got hurt, then you probably don't have a case. Just I'm saying generally speaking. Yeah. Because what's tough here is that we have to find another pulmonologist that says, no, my God, this guy acted grossly negligent. Why did he intubate him? But like that's the wrong thing to do. Then you probably have a case. And the question is, okay, well, how much is your case worth? Well, okay, well, his speech is messed up. How bad is it? What's the value to that? Then we have to get an economist, a financial planner inside there. Then they say, okay, these are experts we're all paying. Out of our law firm money. Does not come out of the client's money at all. I mean, it comes out if you settle it, then we reimburse ourselves.
Sure.
But that's why I always say there's no exposure to you guys for hiring a lawyer. In this case, we have to build it up, see if it's there, and now is it a viable claim?
Yeah, because also, what if he can't work ever again because he's having trouble breathing or he can't talk now or whatever?
Then it's valuable. Yeah, and he's only 62, so then we say 62
years left.
But you're saying there is a cap on this.
There'd be and if it's he can't work and there's loss of income, that's economic. There won't be a cap. Well, the cap is going to be whatever the policy limits are, but it's a hospital. There's going to be plenty of insurance. That's not an issue. So there are there's a cap on what the feeling part of it. It's the punishment damages. It's also it's not just the feeling, but the punitive damages. Like how much you guys did such a bad job, we're going to punish you. Only $250,000.
Got it. But the other stuff, you have to have hard numbers on.
Again, the numbers
part.
are different depending on the state hospital, things like that. So I'm just saying, generally speaking,
it's always an eye opener.
These are general. Oh, thank you. These are general statements here.
Yeah, and I'm going to make this message clear too. You know, we've talked to Adam Ramji for a long time. He's one of the many injury attorneys you've probably seen advertised, right? And a lot of people are worried or scared about like, oh, that's a big deal to hire an attorney. But the things that we've learned from you, Adam, is that injury attorneys have a whole team of people that you don't even know about behind the scenes that help to fight down those medical bills that you otherwise can't do yourself. Help you with a better hospital. If the hospital that you feel like isn't taking care of you, they'll you move them to another hospital.
Yes.
There's all these other parts that come with it. It's not just about the hard numbers of the law.
Because they do it every day.
For sure. That's
You're in the
true.
weeds every day. So you know
that's
things
a good
you don't
point. We got nurses, doctors. We got the AI, artificial intelligence we're using. I mean, it's really making things really, really move. And so I want to make sure that people know, just give us a call, super easy number, 713-all-8. Text us at that same number. I'm shocked at how people say, well, I was trying to do the right thing and talk to the insurance company. I'm like, no, you got to call us. The insurance company's not a government organization. It's not a .org. It's a .com. You know, so they're out for
business.
it's their business.
You got to look out for
yourself. At least give us a call and let's try to help you out.
From San Antonio back, like, halfway, there's a billboard. You have a billboard 2 hours out.
Oh, yeah, in Columbus, yeah.
I was like, Well, I'm not even close to Houston. I'm like, did he just get a great deal on that? Was he driving by and said, I'm going to pick that billboard?
Well, people are going back to Houston. They're coming back.
I want to talk to you guys about that. We'll do that. I want to have like a billboard contest and people submit some things and we'll see what, some.
Hey,
put a crown on your head. Put a jester hat on your head. What kind of hat should Adam Ramji wear in his next billboard campaign?
We haven't had one in 20 years.
Put Special K with you in the billboard.
There you go,
All injured. Put him in a wheelchair with a cast.
I am not going to play an injured person. That bad karma.
If you have a question about an injury, you've
Slipping
been
on a banana
injured,
peel.
you can always call Adam Ramji at 713-ALL-8s. We appreciate the free information when you come visit our show, Adam. You take care. Thanks so much for stopping by again.
Thank you. In a jam, calltheram.com. So I got to put that out there. Right?
There you go.
Call the Ram.
In a jam, calltheram.com. Thank you, guys. I love you.
Thanks a lot, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, guys, if you missed what happened on Roses today with Christine and her husband Frank and his new golfing excursions that he's really taken an interest to, well, there's a reason he's golfing so much. I didn't know margaritas and Mexican food were part of that, too.
Side-sitting.
Side-by-side booth sitting with your mistress. All right, you'll see how it all played out next on The Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.